Hi guys, happy Monday. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are looking forward to the week ahead and you guys are having a blessed Monday. Um, Today I want to talk about failure and share a couple of nuggets on how to deal with failure. And lastly, sprinkle some Jesus. Failure is basically a lack of success, and failure makes you feel like you're not good at anything or you're not good enough. But Thomas Edison said, I have not failed, but I have found 10,000 ways that just don't work. So, see, with anything, you have not failed. You're just finding out ways that don't work, and you just need to tweak them to work to lead to success. How do you then deal with failure and come back from it? Well, I've got 5 things I want to leave you with today. And these 5 things have been really useful for me in my life, and I feel they will help somebody today. Number one is you need to acknowledge the failure, but do not dwell on it too much. Acknowledge that you failed a specific thing, but don't dwell on it too much. Because the moment that you start dwelling on something, you start feeling like you're a failure or you're not good enough. Number two is view the failure as a learning opportunity and take notes. Failing doesn't mean all hope is lost. So, with anything that you fail, whether it's an exam, it's a test, whatever it is, take it as a learning opportunity and take notes. Write down reasons why you probably think that you failed something and work from there. Remember that all hope is not lost. Number three, create a map that will help translate failure into success. Never be afraid to go back and work out what worked and what did not work. See, I think for me personally, that has been very useful because when I failed, for example, exams, I've then gone back to ask my lecturers, why have I failed? What could I do better? What is the best way for me to approach that exam? And for me now, it then allowed me to look at, then write down what has worked towards my preparation for that exam and what did not work, and then tweak it to suit that failure or to change that failure into success. Number four is accept responsibility for the role you played in that failure. See, this is a problem with everybody. You never want to accept responsibility for anything that goes wrong, whether it's a failure or whatever it is. Nobody ever wants to accept responsibility. That's why there are a lot of fights that happen, a lot of misunderstandings that happen, and that's because you do not want to take responsibility for the role that you've played in something. So when you fail, you need to put yourself in a place where you are able to take responsibility for the role that you've played in that failure. You might want to play blame game and be like, but it was in terms of school, it was my lecturer and she didn't prepare me, or he or she did not prepare me adequately, and as a result I failed, or the school didn't give us enough material to enable us to study for the exam. But the thing is, sometimes in school they give you the material that they think is what you need, but you need to put it on yourself to go look for other things that can help you. Look for other things like, I don't know, watch. For me personally, what works is YouTube videos on like specific topics or modules I'm doing. Try those out because some people don't learn just by reading, some people learn by other people teaching them. So you need to take responsibility for your failures and the role that you've played. At that moment, that's the only time I believe personally that you'll be able to turn that failure into a success. Lastly, remind yourself of past failures and successes, especially when faced with large failures. See, um, with anything, not everybody makes it on the first try. Not everybody passes or succeeds on the first try. Sometimes you fail a couple of times, but you need to not lose heart. And when you're faced with large failures, look back on the failures, the small failures that you've had, and the successes to motivate you. I talked about in one of my videos the difference between motivation and discipline. Check that video out. I'll leave the link in the description box. But my point is, so you need to remind yourself of failures and successes, especially when it comes to the big ones, because it gives you motivation to continue to strive, to push for those, to try again when you've been faced with big failures. I've got two quotes that I want to leave with you that have been very useful for me, and I love them. Number one, failure to plan is planning to fail. And for me, this was something I didn't understand when I was in high school. But then I realized the moment that I started planning things, not saying that plan could be, so in this month I'm going to do this, right? But like, if you're gonna plan your year, for me personally, I plan my year. I don't plan and say, "Good, in the month of January I'm going to do this, in the month of whatever." No, no. I just say, in this year I want to achieve this, and then I put it down. So then I have it there open to remind me of all the things I want to achieve. Whenever I achieve them, that's me. But there's some people who are there who believe that, you need to plan each month. That's fine, fair and fine. But my point is, failure to plan is planning to fail. And secondly, failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the success. And this can be linked to, I'm also a Tuku fan, where he mentions in his song, I think he says, "Chimwene chime chine nguva yacho, rama ngwana rirongere." So basically he's saying that everything has its own time, right? Plan for tomorrow. For me, I can fit it into my life and say, he's just basically saying that there's a time for everything and you just have to plan, right? I know he says that amangwana rirongere as a plan for tomorrow, but for me, I didn't take it literally and say that he's saying that I have to plan for tomorrow. But basically for me, I felt he was saying that you just need to plan. And lastly, I want to sprinkle some Jesus. So I want to leave you with 3 verses. Two of them are one of my favorites. And these are Proverbs 3, verse 5 to 6, which says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In your ways, acknowledge him and he will make your paths straight." The second one is Philippians 4, verse 13, which says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." And lastly, Deuteronomy 31, verse 6 says, "So be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid and do not panic before them. For the Lord your God will personally go ahead of you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you." So as you go into this week, remember that you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. And you need to trust in the Lord with everything you have and lean not on your own understanding, because God is able to do exceedingly abundantly and above all you can ask. And remember that God will personally go ahead of you. He will not fail you or abandon you. Have a blessed Monday, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you've not turned on the notification bell, do so. See you guys in next week's video.